Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D here with GFT Radio. Want to say welcome to tonight's show. Jabril, you want to say hi?
What's up, everybody? It's J. Rowe.
Hey guys, tonight it's just me and J. Rowe. Clint is not feeling well, so we wish him well and hope that he feels better.
Definitely.
And we feel kind of bad because he really wanted to do this topic, so it kind of sucks that he's not here. But maybe we'll touch bases on it at some point in time in the future. But welcome you guys to the show. If you're currently listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. What else was I say? Oh, I'm sorry. Our website is www.gftradioshow.com if you want to check that out for any of the past shows and things of that nature. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about the Afrika Bambaata. Am I saying his name right?
Mm-hmm.
Allegations. He has sexual abuse allegations that have been it's been kicked out since March. So a lot of things have been coming to light as of right now. So we definitely want to talk about that. If you want to call in and join in on the conversation, then definitely call. The phone lines will be open at 10:15. Our number is 657-383-1155. So definitely call in. Accepting calls at 10:15. So we're going to kick this off. As I said, Afrika Bambaata has been accused of being sexually abusing underage boys. One of his former members, by the name of Ronald Savage, he was known as B. Stinger. He came out and said that Afrika Bambaata had been molesting him since he was aged, I believe, was 13, back in the 1970s when he had initially met Afrika Bambaata. He decided to be around that Zulu Nation, and he said that Bambaata had forced him to do oral sex on him, and just things of nature, different types of things of that nature. And after he came forward on the Star Show, 3 other men came forward again, saying that it happened to them as well. So I'd like to call you Clint. Jabril, what are your thoughts?
It's kind of crazy, amazing that I actually didn't find out about this until earlier this week. Like you say, I mean, these allegations came out back in like March and April, but I honestly didn't hear about it until earlier this week. I got a text message like, check this video out. I'm checking the video, I went to go listen to it, and I'm just like, wow, like why have I never heard about this earlier? As you say, Afrika Bambaata is now accused of allegedly accused of sexually molesting boys, and it started out with the Ronald Savage, but now there's a bodyguard who came out and said that he's had hundreds of boys in and out of his apartment. Like, he's always had boys in and out of his apartment, which is kind of crazy. That now,
my thought was, where were the parents?
Well, one, where are the parents? I mean, but then you got to think, like, he was the founder, the leader of the Zulu Nation, and it was hip, it was cool, it was the in thing back in the day. So these people, I don't know for sure, but these people are probably trying to get their kids and the young black adults involved in something positive, and have this man out here, encouraging and doing good things for the community. And now you have allegations like this coming out. It's just crazy that now it's coming out. This guy's 50 years old with coming out with these allegations that happened back in the 80s. You're talking something that happened 30, 40 years ago. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, because he said on the he went on the Star Show, was it Shot 97? And Star basically broke this news. He had him on the show, and he basically revealed his truth. And he said that it took him so long to process it because he went into a state of denial, and then went and he didn't want to say it. And then it took him to age 50 to finally be okay with saying it and acknowledging that it did happen to him. And he wrote about it in his book that he's writing. So that I guess he felt, and then he also came out to say that he had quite a few of the Zulu members. He had the phone call. He said that he has proof that the Zulu members of the Zulu Nation had contacted him, and he recorded the phone call, and they basically said, name your price, and he didn't want the money. He said he has proof of that. I'm definitely would love to hear that and hear that that audio to see what in fact, like, if it is true. But also that he said he wasn't looking for a payout. He wants to actually change law to where it is no, because, statute of limitations with those types of offenses, they run out. Whereas, murder is, there's no statute. With sexual abuse, it is a statute. If it didn't happen, if you didn't get it, if you didn't take it to court or take it to the law at a certain time, you pretty much can't do anything about it. And he wants to also change that law too. So what are your thoughts on that?
Now, my thing was, when I first heard about it, first thing that came up that popped out to me was he said he wasn't trying to get any financial gain out of this. And also, they said they offered him money, that he had the recordings or messages or whatever, that they said, name a price, will make this disappear. That's pretty much, that right there didn't make me seem like he was lying or even putting any blame or saying that he did do this, because you have plenty of celebrities that are out there that will take the loss just to make this go away, whether they're innocent or guilty. They just don't want to have to go through the hassle, go through the embarrassment, go through the lawsuits and all that. So they'll just wind up paying somebody out. That's why you get all these cases with these undisclosed agreements and terms where it was just a payout. And that doesn't mean they did it. It doesn't mean you did it. Doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just means like, hey, I'm going to give you this money. We're going to sign this hush agreement. You don't talk about it anymore. I'm just going to pay you to keep you quiet. That, like I say, that doesn't mean that you did it, or it doesn't mean you didn't do it. You might just not want to go through the embarrassment or through the whole lawsuit or anything like that. Some people are like that. Oh, I just want to get some money out of this, whatever, what you going to give me. Yeah. I don't know how much they offered him or whatnot, but as far as him saying he wasn't trying to get any financial gain out of this, I don't know. But when I say it may be something he might not be in financial gain, but he's trying to get some type of personal gain out of it. You say he's some type of legislator or something. He's trying to get the laws in New York changed for the statute of limitations. Yeah. Now, like I say, it might not be a financial gain, but he's trying to get some personal gain out of this, where he's trying to get those laws and rules extended so that something like this can still be brought up 30, 40 years later, because the statute of limitations in New York are still so strict. So that might be his reason behind it, to get some backing to get this law passed, or whatever bill, law, whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah, they said that Afrika Bambaata finally spoke out, I believe, in April. He actually went on the what's the name of that show? Oh my God, I can't think of the show, but. Anyway, he went on to another radio show that he was, from what we heard was he went on the radio show, which I think it was Ed Lover and Moni Love. Mm-hmm. And they pretty much, Moni Love was very tight with the Zulu Nation. She, basically was alongside with things. So it was kind of better for him to go on that show versus the other show, which probably would quote unquote, attack him more and ask more hard questions. But it basically sounds like, from what the video that I saw was, they basically saying that it was like a light interview, and they basically said, and the only thing Moni Love said at the end was he needs to be filing a defamation suit, which he has not since filed, and that was the only way that she would, I guess that was just he's lying, so he needs to file defamation, which, as far as we know, he has not signed the defamation suit against this, Richard Savage, or Ronald Savage. Yeah, he has not filed defamation of lawsuit. Also, he actually went on there and said that he didn't know who this guy was. And they had several members of the Zulu Nation confirm that Ronald Savage was, in fact, one of them, and that Afrika Bambaata knew exactly who he was. So for me, that kind of took me, why would you act like you don't know this person? You can say I know him, but he's lying, but to say that you don't even know him, and then you got people that's in your own club or Zulu Nation saying that you do know him and that he is a member.
I want to know what kind of gain he got out of. I mean, he was a young kid, 13, 14 years old when he was rolling around with the Zulu Nation. I want to know what kind of gain he got out of being with them. I mean, you know, he if he did, you know, if these allegations are true, you know, he did these things with Afrika Bambaata. What did he get out of it? Because I mean, you're not just going to be some young kid rolling around with some high class, high profile organization or individuals and not get any type of gain or return out of this. And why now?
He probably got picked up. I mean, like, he started as a young kid and then he became a member of the Zulu Nation. So I think that was his game. Like, and then I look at it like from a flip side. I look at it like this. Most boys who are, like, I know a lot of guys that are grown now that have been molested, whether it was by a man or a female, and they don't know how to come forward. Like, because like you said, when the stipulation when it comes to men, oh, you got molested, oh no, that's, you know, it's not looked at as molestation. If your teacher really liked you and, you know, she slept with you, that was cool. Now teachers are going to jail, and it's kind of laughed at. Like, some guys kind of laugh at you, like, what do you mean you told them? Like, that was like the best thing you could have had. But it's hard, especially when it's by another man. I know I had a good friend of mine that was molested by his mom's boyfriend for years, and he told me he never knew how to tell his mom, and when he finally did, he didn't want her to think he was gay because he didn't know how he should feel. Like, he said, I felt like what attracted this man to me, and what made me appealing to him. And I said, well, it's not anything you did. He was a pedophile. That's point blank, period. So nothing you did anything to make him think that you were X, Y, Z. He just preyed on a young kid and took advantage of you. And like, you know, it's so sometimes I get it to an extent that sometimes it's hard to speak out, especially as a man, let alone a man of color. And for him to speak out, whether it was for a gain as far as legislation laws, financial laws, or just something, I mean, I would hope that this man wouldn't come out after all these years and just tell a bold-faced lie. But at the same time, when he came out, it helped 3 other people come out. And who's to say if they all get, like, if they not necessarily got all together, but if they sat there and talked to other people and they talked to 3 different people separately and they all had the same story. Like, if they never sat and had a conversation with each other, because what man going to say, oh, you know, I got molested by such and such, or, you know, and they all going to have the same exact story. So, you know, I kind of want to hear these other men's story as well to kind of see if there's any similarities, you know.
But that's where you also get into, you know, one person will come out and say something, and the next thing you know, you got a whole flock of people who just want to get in on this big payday that's about to happen, or they think it's going to happen. Like, oh, you know, it happens all the time. I mean,
yeah, but that's not even the crazy part, because you know what? Nothing's happening. They can't sue him. They can't take him to court. So right now, Afrika Bambaata is being charged in public opinion. It's not even a court issue.
Mm-hmm.
So It's not like he's going to go to jail or he's got to go to court and go all this stuff. It's not even getting that far. This is all media and what the media takes from it. And when, as they said, when you got these things coming out, and then you got his own, like, even with the head of security guard coming out and saying, you know, he had boys coming and going all the time. He had one there in the morning. He had one, like, it was always a boy in his house. Okay, but that makes me wonder, like, what were y'all doing? Like, did y'all, like, and they said back then he was into some freaky stuff, but it's like at what point do y'all want to know why these little boys in his house? Like, I mean, at some point, like, I take this back to last week, parents have to take accountability. I know this is a celebrity. I know you feel like this man is doing good for the community, but why are you letting your kids stay with somebody that you don't even know? I mean, you know of them, but you don't know them. Or maybe they do know them. But they say the people that prey on kids is 9 times 10 is somebody you know, so you got to protect your kids. And boys need to be protected just as the girls do.
This is true. I mean, whether you're talking about celebrities, I mean, this goes, when it comes to this kind of topic, I mean, you had things with Michael Jackson, you had the stuff with the priest, you had the stuff with Jerry Sandusky, the Penn State football coach. I mean, these are
people that people put even Michael Jackson. These are people that you have your kids around, and you have to, like, you at the end of the day, they celebrity or not, you need to protect your children, because whether they're a celebrity or not, it could be a neighbor, a boyfriend, a dad, like, it could be anybody. Not to put that bad thought on people's heads, but I mean, you have to be mindful of that. It could be you worry about the strangers you don't know. It could be the people you do know.
Mm-hmm.
And you too busy thinking that, oh, no, I'm happy because he's so-and-so. It can happen, and it doesn't matter who these people are. It can happen.
It happens everywhere. I mean, it could be a babysitter, you say a teacher, a parent, a friend. It happens, and I got tagged in a post earlier. I didn't get a chance to watch the video, but it said, black men need to wake up and come to terms basically with this Afrika Bambaata allegations. So, just because he was a high-ranking, important person who was the leader of the Zulu Nation doesn't mean that these type of things can't happen. Like you have to be aware of these kind of things.
Yeah, that's why I say I love a lot of celebrities, but I'm not going to let my kids just hang around you just because, even if I want them to be a celebrity, I think they'd be a good influence on you. If they're going to be around you, I want to be around you. I need to know what type of person you are. And definitely my kid not going to be in your house all types of nights, no.
That happens all the time. I mean, these people in these neighborhoods and everything, you get a rich, famous person around, and next thing you know, you just pushing your kids off to them. Oh, this person's good for the neighborhood, good for the community, but you don't know what their intentions are. You don't know them just because they're rich and famous and live in your neighborhood. These people could be drug dealers, they could be gangbangers, they could be child molesters. You never know. But just because they have that status and that celebrity, I'm just put them off and let them go play with them and whatnot.
It's definitely. If you guys want to join in this conversation, definitely call us. Our number is 657-31155. What I was going to say. But what do you feel about the law, the legislation that he's trying to pass about extending and taking off the statute of limitations on sexual abuse and molestation and things? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think there should be statute of limitations on anything. I mean, if you did the crime or whatever, there shouldn't be a statute of limitations on, you have this certain amount of time to file a lawsuit or make a complaint or whatever. I mean, yeah, I get that it may have happened years, 10, 20, 30 years ago, but these people need to be held accountable. So, I mean, as far as the statute of limitations, some states are stricter than others when it comes to that. Apparently, New York is has the most strict laws when it comes to statute of limitations, as far as how long you have to file or how long you have to make this report or whatever. And I just think it should just go away. I mean, if it happened to you or it happened, you shouldn't be protected by time limits. And that goes for anything. I mean, whether it's contract. I mean, there's statute of limitations for everything. Contracts. There's statute of limitations for crimes. There's statute of limitations for everything. And honestly, I don't think it should be a statute of limitations for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, this guy waited. He's 50 years old now. This happened when he was a teenager. Just because he waited that long to come out doesn't mean that he can't make this argument, this complaint, because time has passed and time's up.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And people gonna be doing things. You go out here and molest a baby who can't talk, and now what? You wait till they're 15, 18 years old and start talking and stuff, and you're like, oh, well, that happened when they were a baby. I can get away with it because they can't talk. I'm like, nah, that's crazy. It's a crazy example, but I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you're talking about when it comes to statute of limitations. Yeah, you did it. You did it. You should be held accountable for it, no matter how long ago that it was.
Yeah, and I agree. I definitely agree, and I know because I'm not really big on law or anything like that, but I do know with murder there is no statute of limitations. There is double jeopardy, but there's no statute of limitations. So if you commit a murder back in the 70s and they finally tested DNA and you are the killer, you're going to jail. So you're going to go on trial and you're going to jail. So that's definitely thing. But I want to kind of read a little bit of Afrika Bambaata's statement. He basically said, I, Afrika Bambaata, want to take the advice of my legal counsel to personally deny any and all allegations of any type of sexual molestation of anyone. Those allegations are baseless and are a cowardly attempt to tarnish my reputation and legacy in hip hop at this time. The negligent attack on my character will not stop me from continuing my battle and standing up against violence in our communities, the violence in the nation and the violence in the world. So, he goes to all that, in the name of the Supreme Force, all that jazz. He said, may peace and blessings be upon each and every one of you who would stand up to save us and our planet with so much chaos going on. Peace, love, honor, and respect all. So, I just say, like I said, it's just pretty much in the public opinion of what the public thinks. Some people are going to think that he is a pedophile, and some people are just not going to believe it no matter what happens. And that's with anything. People still think, they ain't did it, never did anything. So, and people think that, people are going to believe what they choose to believe. So at this point, as far as the law is concerned, I would hope that he does successfully get that passed, because I think that is a great law that he is trying to do. And whether or not that's his motive to get it done, I don't know. But I guess right now we got to wait until see what comes out of this. Like what is the what's going to happen with all of it, to see how the thing goes and how it works out. Because I'm pretty sure, as the internet goes, somebody's going to come out and say something more. So we're going to hear it from all different sides.
It's going to, like I say, it's going to come out. I'm pretty sure, this story isn't done. I can almost guarantee that more people are going to come out. Now that this bodyguard is coming out and saying that there's been hundreds of boys in and out, there's going to be a whole lot more people that come out with stories about this. Like I say, I'm surprised that this happened back in March, April, and now it's just now starting to become big in the I don't even want to say the news, because it hasn't even really been in the news. It's like the urban culture, the hip hop culture, the music culture is now just now starting to hear about this. And I think that if this guy never came forward, nobody else would have ever came forward. The story would have never came out.
Yeah. I'm actually reading the head of security, the former head of security, what's his name, Sharif?
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably tearing his name up. But he says, and I quote, there are always boys in his house. When he leaves and gets home, there's always a boy there. He said, I've seen them camp, asking him for money. He said he travels with late teens, and those are the ones he takes overseas with him. When I went on tour with him in the States, I stay in one room, and he would be with the boys in the other room. He said other children would actually go tour with Bambaattaa overseas. Those who didn't condone his assaults on children wouldn't go on tours overseas with. So that bothers me, because if y'all knew this was happening, why not? If you're not going to tell the whole world, warn the mothers or the parents of these kids and say, listen, this is what I think is going on. And, just be mindful, talk to your children or something. That makes me believe that some of you people actually knew what was going on and you didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I don't understand that. First of all, kids, no matter if they're 18 and under or 18 and over, first of all, when they're that young, 13 or 15, they're impressionable. They want to be seen by this person that everybody loves and worships. Not really worships, but you know how they do. They follow them around. They're so engulfed in this person and that presence of what they can do. And they might not want to speak out against them, but you can protect them by telling a parent, or saying something. Because that you guys, from what he's saying, they knew about it, and they did nothing. They just said, I won't go on tour. What the hell does that do? That doesn't save a kid.
Yeah. And,
wow.
And like I say, now you got these parents that are out here just we know about it. It happened, but we're not going to do anything. You say pull them off tour, that doesn't help the kid. That's just opening up opportunity. Okay, I don't have this. I don't have him.
Something.
Okay, I'll just pick another one up.
Yeah.
I'll just find another one. There's plenty more.
That's just crazy. They could have took them kids in a whole other room, or just didn't take them. I don't understand that. I don't think I would be that type of person that would sit around. I'm not even gonna say I wouldn't think. I'm not gonna be that person that if I know something like that's happening, and act like that's okay, or not try to protect those kids. No. They probably were scared and didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. And because no adult really helped them, they probably just sat there and just did whatever. And then went home, didn't scared to tell their parents. Because, they normally threaten the kids. I'm going to kill your family if you say something. And, kids, especially with somebody of that much power, of course, you're going to think, they might have believed that. I don't know, but that's crazy.
And that's that power and influence you have over these kids. Like, you tell them something like that, like, oh, if you tell anybody this happened, I'm going to hurt mommy, I'm going to hurt daddy, nobody's going to believe you, stuff like that. But, I mean, I can't speak personally because, I haven't been abused. I don't know anybody. Like, I don't know what these people's not motive. I don't know what these people are telling these whoever they're molesting, and I don't know what these kids are going through to not want to speak up. Like I said, this guy said he waited long because I don't even know why he said he waited that long, but he said he wanted to get it out now before he died. Like, he didn't want anything to happen. He wanted people to know. He wanted people to know what happened. He wanted to get word out about what happened before he died. Out of fear, he stated he didn't tell anyone because of the power and influence Bambaattaa had back then in the community. Like I said, that could be a lot of stuff. You tell a kid like, oh, you know who I am, you know what I can do, you know who I know. They say that the Zulu Nation was a big organization back then. They had a lot of power, they had a lot of respect. They probably threatened these kids with a whole bunch of things, telling them what they could do, what would happen to them if they told anybody. Like I say, the whole nobody's going to believe you. And these kids are 13, 14 years old. Like, I'm hanging with the cool people. I'm meeting these celebrities. I'm out on tour. I don't want to mess this up. I'm not going to say anything. But, I say it now, but, like, me personally, at some point I would have to realize and understand, like, this guy can't do anything to me. Like, it sounds good now saying it, but, probably back then, like, these kids don't know any better. They don't know that's probably not their thinking. So they would believe whatever was told to them. Like, oh, I can't tell anybody. I'm not going to get this money. I'm not going to get this opportunity to hang out with them. I'm not going to be able to go on tour. I'm not going to be able to meet these famous people or whatever. Like, I don't know. But that's what I say, like, the statute of limitations, like, it happens when you're 13, but by the time you hit like 18, 19, 20 years old, it's still sitting in your mind like, hey, something happened and I know it wasn't right and I need to tell somebody, but then you still shut down and then you wait another 10, 15 years, and then you wait another 15 years after that, and then eventually you're just like, I think I need to speak about this.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because he said, Ronald Savage said, I was a kid when this happened. He said, I wanted to be down with the in crowd, not really understanding what Bambaattaa was doing to me was molesting. I knew it was wrong. I had feelings that were like, yuck. He said he never reported the molestations out of fear of what the Zulu Nation would do to his family. Wow. And we do on, if you go to our website, www.gftradioshow.com, we do have the video of the interview. Well, basically, it's a guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He had a podcast, and he was talking about. He basically talked about the allegations of Afrika Bambaata. He also touched base on the Ed Lover and Moni Love show as well. It is on our blog, so you can go check that out tonight if you want. I know when we do post this show, we're going to post up the actual video from the Star show that Ronald Savage was on, accusing Afrika Bambaata. That's basically when he came out with the story with his side of what happened to him. I'm definitely going to post that so you guys can check that out as well. But it's just crazy to know that, but it's always the person that's in power. Like, if you ever notice, it's always, I look at it like this. When situations like that happen, it's like when people are constantly told yes to everything, it's like when someone says no, it's a little bit different. Like, they feel like they have the authority to take it or do something to take it. Like, with this situation, he preyed on little kids, so it was a little bit easier as opposed to, trying to molest or rape a grown man, Might have been not as easy as for him as to do that versus taking a child and like when that happens to a child at a young age or at any age as a child, that's a very traumatizing thing, and you kind of black those things out, and then it's very hard to relive those type of things. So if in fact what Ronald Savage said is true, that probably was a hard. I mean, it's not something you get over. Yeah, I mean, it's something you got to talk about and continue to talk about and understand that it wasn't your fault. Because you kind of go, I know from personal experience, you kind of go from a thought process of what did I do for this to happen to me? Mm-hmm. Why did this happen to me? Did I do something to make this person think this type of way of me? Like you go through that process, and then you go through a denial process. No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Whereas in my case, I originally spoke up but was not believed, so I kind of kept it to myself and didn't speak about it until I was old, until I was actually grown. And I understood that talking about it and getting it out and not harboring it in helped me. And then as looking at it as now the age I am now, I know that it was nothing I did. It was everything that person did. Their actions were the problem. Nothing I did was wrong. I was being a kid. That's what kids do. I didn't do anything to make this person think that they should try to do this to me. So I think, like, I look at it like that, like, and I don't want to be seen like I'm biased because I've experienced that, but I just think that I can understand his thought process of not really, like, processing and dealing with it and then being able to finally speak about it and being okay with it. Because when you're okay with speaking about it, whatever anybody says negative to you, you can kind of pretty much, like, you expect it. Like, you understand that unless you start talking about it and people say, well, you sure you ain't do nothing? Like, stuff like that makes you, it's like almost like a mind fuck. You got to kind of get your thoughts together and understand that, no, it's nothing I did. Mm-hmm. You know? And then eventually you come to the point where you understand that what that person did was wrong. You did nothing, and this is how you heal, by talking about it. This is how you heal, because it's an everyday process. Little things can trigger a memory. So
yes,
you know, it's not something you can get. I mean, some people have to go to therapy. Some people, stuff like that happens to them, and they go to a very dark path. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what all he went through, everybody doesn't go through the same thing, but it's how you process what happened to you and how you deal with it. It's a coping. It's you have to learn to cope with. You have to understand that this happened. And it's not, you can't, like, you're a victim, but you can also be a survivor. You don't have to stay a victim. So I think that's where, if this really happened to him, I think that's where he's at now. At 50 years old, he's a survivor, and he's ready to tell his story and tell his truth and be done with it. Because, you know, I mean, that's how I look at it. I don't know if that's the correct way to look at it. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know his thought process, but, like, that's something that is a thought process of how I process it. So I'm kind of saying that maybe he processes it that way. I don't know for definite, so I can't really say. But Jabril?
Yeah, I'm reading here. You know, they were saying that this he was 14 years old when the alleged sexual assault happened. He wanted to come forward because he said he was molested or he was assaulted at least 5 times. Over a period of time, I guess it was. And, you know, they say he suffered deep emotional wounds that still haunt him to this day, and him being 50 years old now, you know, this happened back when he was 14. You say you never know what triggered him to, you know, go back into this past. It could have been anything, a memory. It could have been something he was doing. It could have been something he saw, something he smelled, something he heard. Like, it could be anything that can trigger this to Absolutely. Make you go back to that place. And, you know, maybe that's why he just now finally decided to speak up.
I mean, it eats at you. When you hold it in, it eats at you.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, to me, like, I find it kind of convenient, kind of funny that it comes up now as he's trying to get these laws for the statute of limitations changed. But you never know. Like I said, I mean, it could have been anything. To being emotionally scarred, anything can set you off. Anything can trigger you. Like I said, I mean, you could think you're over it, and 30, 40 years later, something happens. You know, you can be with your significant other, and y'all are getting into whatever or doing whatever, and they do something that reminds you of what happened back in the day, and it could just trigger you to hey, you know, I don't feel comfortable right now. You know, y'all could be just having the best time ever, and at the movies somewhere, watching a movie, laying on the couch, laying in bed in the dark, and just going back to that place, like, hey, you know, I don't like being in the dark. I don't like people touching me. I don't like, hey, you never know.
Yeah, and even that, it takes you a while to get even sex. It takes a while for you to even get to that point where you can. I mean, you think about everything. Like, you think about everything. Like, your body, especially with men, your body reacts involuntarily. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're stimulated, your body's going to react. So then it's like, well, what made me feel this way? Why did I get this way? And, you know, you process that. And it's hard because you think, well, maybe I am, and especially for a boy and being molested by a man or another boy or, you know, whatever, it's you think to yourself, like, well, what did I do? Like, why did my body respond that way? But as men, period, your bodies respond to stimulation. If somebody's stimulating you, whether you want to or not, you're stimulated. Mm-hmm. And that can mess with your head. Like, why did I get this erection and knowing I really don't want to do this, or this feels weird to me? Yeah, your body is stimulated. No matter what you, like, your body is a whole other different thing. And that's a thing to process alone, too, because you got to wonder, well, did I really want this? Did I, you know? And
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, that could have been what triggered it for him to finally come out and speak up. Like I said, I mean, he said he was mostly deep emotional wounds, so, you know, that could have been what caused him to finally come out and speak up now after all this time. Like I say, it's hard. Like, you know, a lot of people are out here. Some people are saying, you know, I don't believe the allegations. Some people are saying they do believe them. Some people are saying, like, his intentions are he has different intentions for wanting to come forward now. But like I said, I mean, we don't know the whole story. We've only heard. I mean, Afrika Bambaata finally did come out with a statement, but his statement is kind of crazy according to what he's saying and what this other guy is saying. Like, you can't go out and say, oh, I don't know this guy, I never met this guy, I don't know what he's talking about. But then you got people in your own organization that are saying, oh, nah, you know, this guy was part of the nation. He's part of the Zulu Nation. Like that. Now your stories are starting to sound crazy. You have the one guy accusing you of something, and you have another guy, the accuser, or the accused, is saying that he never heard of this guy, never saw the guy, never met him. Your stories are kind of crazy. Now, either you did it or you didn't. You can't sit here and then want everybody to believe, like, oh no, this guy's just making it up. He was never part of it. We don't know who he is. But then you have people in your own camp who are coming out and backing this guy up. Like I say, I mean, there's no real financial gain, like you said, because the guy's not going through a court system. He's not being judged. He's not being tried, or there's no crime or anything. So there is no monetary gain out of this. Like, he's not trying to do it for any money or anything. But
I want to hear that videotape. I want to hear that tape. If he really had that, I really would love to hear that. I need him to go on the Star Show, Ronald, and play that tape. Because if you play that tape, that is, for me, that is a stamp of approval. At that point, in the public opinion, in my eyes, he did it. If that come out, then that means all y'all knew, all you Zulu Nation people knew, and y'all try to help cover it up too. And now he's done it. Because that's my thought process. Like, I look at it like this: if you're not, and like I know Jabril said it, like, if some people pay people off just to get the story. No, I don't buy that. If you pay somebody off, you did something. That's my opinion. I'm not saying everybody should think that way, but I know for me personally, if I know I didn't do nothing, I ain't copping to no plea. I'm not paying nothing off. I'll take my day in court.
See that? Well, I mean, that's where the difference with I mean, you got the people out here. You got famous people out here with money who just have money. I don't want to say just throw away, but just to, you know, get this case done and over. It's not really a case because it's not in court, but like I say, I mean, you have these people out here who have money, who have this influence, who have this power, who have this respect. They have a certain name to live up to, and they don't want to have to go through this embarrassment. They don't want to have to go through this lawsuit. They don't want to have to go through all of this.
I would rather go through that and then find out I'm innocent. That's like copping the plea deal, and you ain't do nothing. Well, let me take this plea because I don't feel like going to court and they doing all X, Y, Z. No. I'll take my day in court because I want you to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that I did this, and then that's it. Like then if I feel like I'm losing, I might pay you off. But no, I'm not going to pay you off and knowing I ain't did shit. No, I'm not giving you nothing. I don't care how much money I have. I'm not giving it to you. But then again, I've never been in that situation, so I really can't speak in depth for definite, But would you, like I say, I mean, even if you didn't do it, the embarrassment, the whole, now you're starting to get into all these other things. I mean, one is gonna cause other people to come out and wanna take these pleas. Like, if I just had this one guy who came up to me and told me, like, hey, you know, I'm accusing you of this, and now I need you to pay me off. Would you want to go through the embarrassment of just that one guy that you have to pay off, or would you take your chances in court? Because you know once you go to court, plenty of other people are going to start coming out now. Yeah, but they all. I mean, I get that part, and maybe I'm not thinking realistically. But I just not like I can't see myself settling. Like at this point, if you accuse me, that's embarrassment already. It's going to be out there. The way social media is nowadays, it's going to be out there whether it go to court or not. The same with this situation. It's not in court, but it's public opinion. So no, if you accuse me of something, I need you to prove that in court. I'm not paying you nothing. That's just me. Maybe I'm not thinking realistically, but
that's where we need to hear that. That's where we need to hear this tape of them allegedly calling him multiple times, according to him, that they called him multiple times and told him like, yo, you know, name a price, we'll make this disappear. You know, we don't have to go through this. I mean, if that's actually what happened, and they actually came out to him and told him, they may have been thinking the same way I'm thinking. Like, hey, you know, we don't want to go through this. We're the Zulu Nation. We're a well-respected organization in the community, in the neighborhood. We don't need these kind of problems. That stuff happened with Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson was accused of molesting the boys, parents were coming out just saying like, oh yeah, you know, my kid was molested by Michael Jackson. And there's plenty of times where plenty of celebrities just wind up just paying out money just to get these people to quiet up, to hush up. Like I say, you know, you sign these agreements. We're not going to talk about this anymore. You're not going to talk about how much I paid you. We're not going to talk about any of the terms, any of the conditions. I'm just going to pay you. We're going to get this done and over with. No more talking to reporters, no interviews, no videos, no books, no documentaries, none of that.
Yeah, didn't they make them take pictures and everything?
They had pictures of Michael Jackson. Oh, yeah, that's Michael Jackson's penis. Like, really? Come on now. You're not embarrassing that?
I've never seen that. Now I'm going to have to Google it. It might still be on the internet. I'm sorry. I just want to know what it looks like.
Hey, nobody wants to go through that kind of embarrassment. I'm not saying I'd rather just pay you because, I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm just going to, just because I'm that celebrity and I can get away with it. That's the right thing to do, but that's what happens in the world. People get paid off all the time just so that they don't have to go through court processes and go through these things.
I mean, if it's something minute, maybe, but, like, not something major as that, no, I'm going to need you to prove that, buddy. Like, that's my own personal opinion. I definitely going to post that question on the blog and our Facebook page. If you were the accused, if someone accused you of something similar to this, or, you know, anything that's, like, devastating to your image, would you, one, pay them off? Or would you try your day in court? That's definitely a question I would want to pose to the listeners and those who follow our Facebook page and our Twitter page. That is the question that I will be posting once we post the show. Or I might post it tonight. Who knows? But I definitely want to know, would you pay someone off if they accuse you of something rather than deal with rather than deal with stuff in court and have other people come forward? Gabriel, what would you do? That were you.
That's a crazy question. Like,
you asked me, I answered.
I would. Oh man, you trying to get me into the mind state of like that's a whole crazy topic. But honestly, I would.
Not necessarily what he's going through.
It all depends on the situation.
Like a Tiger Woods situation. And you got females coming out saying I slept with him too. Or I slept with him. We got a baby. Like, you got all this stuff going on. What would you do?
See, but Tiger Woods got some long money, so he can pay people off and not have to worry about it. That's exactly what he did. He paid them off and was just like, yo, we're not going to drag this out in the court. I'm just going to pay you off, like I say, and get this situation done and over with. Nobody has to hear anything. I don't want you doing no interviews. I don't want nobody calling me. It depends on the situation, on what it was and what it is, like how severe it was. Like, I'm not just going to be out here throwing money around to everybody who's accusing me, but if it came down to it, if it was something crazy, something stupid, something simple, here, take this $10,000. We're going to stop talking about this, and now the situation's done. I'm pretty sure they probably offered him a whole lot more than that, but hey, it gets you quiet.
I want to know what they would have offered him.
They had to offer him something nice. You're talking about them as a whole. Like I say, that they had some influence, they had some money, they had some power. So they probably offered him a pretty good amount.
Mm-hmm. I'm reading this statement that he, I don't know if it's a statement, but it's like this long document of what he did. I don't know if it was him or the Zulu Nation printed out, but they went into how they helped air Beyonce, Knowles, Carter's, all the stuff. They just tried. They said they offered to provide security for Beyonce. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
This was when she did her the formation thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess they're saying that basically, unfortunately, this tactic is they talk about defamation of and assassination of character. They talk about all this stuff. Like, they brought up love and hip hop. They brought up all this stuff. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what are y'all responding to?
They're not going to come out and respond directly to these allegations.
No,
yet.
Then they finally get to the allegations, like the second page of the thing, and it says one individual who has become the poster child of lies and slander is named Ronald Savage. He tried to pass himself off in history by associating himself with Afrika Bambaata, founder of the Zulu Nation. The problem is that he has chosen to pursue the lower path of rumors and character assassination. He has recently written a book in which details fictitious accounts which do not add up chronologically, and which places him as a victim. They go on and talk about how he said he was molested by. He said in a questionable interview with Star of the Shot 97, he apparently saying that he can't remember how long the occurrences took place. So because he doesn't know how long he was molested for whatever time he, like basically like when he was molested, how long did it last and all this extra stuff.
I mean, nobody's going to sit here and look at the clock and look at the watch and like, oh yeah, I was molested for 7.5 minutes. Like,
first of all, I don't even like this whole response. I just want to tell him that this is like they could have let him just let Afrika Bambaata say what he said and they'll be done. Y'all have to write this whole thing or type this whole thing out and just talk about the freaking Super Bowl and like nobody like. Oh, Jesus. You're being extra for no reason. I don't know, but tonight, guys, we will not be, sorry to tell you, but we will not be having an after show. So we got maybe 10 minutes after the show tonight. Definitely want to thank you guys for listening, for those who were listening in. If you missed part of the show, you can definitely, once we upload it on YouTube before the weekend is out, we'll post it on our Facebook page and the GTF radio show a website. Thank you. Like I said, thank you for listening in. Sorry that Clint could not be here because I know he had so much more to add, and he's always played devil advocate, so we kind of missed that tonight. But like I said, we could definitely get his side of what he thinks on another show. It could be one of our trending topic shows, and he can speak his piece on that, and we'll just chime in on what his thoughts are. But we want to thank you for listening. And Jabril, would you like to give them your info to check you out?
Yes, JRO609 everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Google, everywhere. That's where it is. Definitely check out Clint at A King's Truth You can Google him or at Twitter, Trenton Grew Me. That's Clint's info. Definitely check him out there.
Yeah, also check out his blog at kingstruth.com. When I tell y'all are going to love his blog, y'all going to love it. So definitely show him some love. I am Sunny_D on Twitter and Instagram. I think I'm going to open my Instagram so you guys can follow me because I got to accept people. I might still be accepted because I don't want people to just follow me randomly. But you can definitely follow me on my blog, unreservedlyme.wordpress.com. Like I said, don't be shy, guys. Call in. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, definitely hit us up on our Facebook page, or you can email us at gftradioshow@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to follow our GFT_radio on Twitter. You can definitely follow that, and we can catch up on all our tweets and just say things that we have coming on. Jabeel, you want to say anything any last minute words?
No, that's about it. Great show, wrapping it up, and be back next time.
All right, guys. Hopefully next time Clint will feel better, but you guys have a great night, and we will catch you on the next show on Thursday. Bye.
All right.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Today, Bridget Griffin shared a video of her daily yoga routine, 2 self-help articles, and her new blog called Build Your Inner Bridge with Bridge. Girl, your sharing has turned into oversharing. No worries, Bridge. Geico has some info worth sharing with your 7 blog followers, like how you could save money on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim just by visiting geico.com. How's that for building your inner bridge? Bridge, Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.